Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Ryan.
And we are the Iggy Parents! Welcome to our show.
Yeah, the Iggy Parents.
So, Ryan, why are we the Iggy Parents?
Because of Adelaide.
Adelaide,
a little
the Iggy.
Italian greyhound.
Wait a minute. But what's an Iggy?
It's an Italian greyhound. I just said that.
Okay, so sometimes people think that Adelaide's name is Iggy because her Instagram handle is Iggy Adelaide, Iggy.
I don't know. Do they think that's her middle name or what?
I don't know. Or that she's an Iggy from Adelaide, Australia.
I think some dogs do. We have a lot of dogs from Australia on our Instagram.
Not mad about it, though.
No. I love Australia. That's the number one place that I want to visit at some point in the future.
Someday.
Sorry for the exaggerated eye roll and huff, but you know, the time that we're in right now, it's June 2020 for the people that are listening in the future.
Just to get that feeling, you know, getting that antsy cabin fever feeling. Yeah. Anywho, Iggy is a short form for Italian Greyhound.
Right.
Also,
IG, Italian Greyhound.
IG. So, common misconceptions about Iggies. The biggest thing I can think of is everyone thinks she's a whippet.
Yeah. I don't know why Whippet has so much more street cred than Italian Greyhounds do.
Yeah, is there a famous whippet I don't know about?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But that's what both of us had heard of. Am I right?
Yep.
You'd heard that, but I had not heard the term Italian Greyhound. But when we were looking for a dog, we were looking for a small breed. And I literally searched.
Hypoallergenic.
And hypoallergenic.
Or close to for our allergies.
Yeah. And everyone will say there's no hypoallergenic, but Jess is definitely allergic and has not had any problems
pretty good.
with at least her fur. Sometimes when she gets
Saliva.
licked.
Yeah. But that happens with all animals with me.
Yeah. But so we searched for Jenna Marble's Whippet.
Well, you searched.
I searched
for Seth Meyers' dog.
Seth Meyers' dog. So we both knew the most famous pop culture people with Whippets.
You just said Whippet.
I just said Whippets.
This is a weird subliminal thing. Okay, if anyone knows why Whippet is way more famous than Italian Greyhound, please let us know.
Yeah.
Because this is an Italian Greyhound-inspired podcast, not a Whippet.
I know, and I've been talking about Italian Greyhounds for 24/7 for the last year and a half.
Hashtag not a Whippet.
It's not a Whippet.
Okay, just getting that out of my system.
Okay.
So, why are Italian Greyhounds, Iggies, so special?
So the number one thing that I wanted to say is that
You can say it.
that they love people, that they love their people, and they just want. And then Jess is like, "All dogs love people." It's like,
All
okay,
dogs
that's
man's best friend.
it's true. But they really just want to curl up on your lap all the time.
Okay, that's true. Like a lap dog. But it's not the only lap dog out there.
Yeah, Great Danes are also lap dogs. Apparently, I've heard that.
And greyhounds, full greyhounds.
Oh, and greyhounds too. Yeah,
I heard that too. Or they try and be lap dogs. They're couch potatoes.
right. She succeeds where they fail.
Yeah. That just makes Italian greyhounds the best.
Yeah.
So
But
I
what's
would
your
say
idea?
why they're so special is because they're unique in so many different ways. So first off, looks. I always laugh because she can go from entirely derpy to entirely gorgeous within seconds. So I'm taking one photo of her and she just is sitting there so pretty. Maybe her paws are crossed or I don't know. She's just got this beautiful look in her eyes. Her coat is silky. And then I turn around, take another photo, and her ears are all out of whack. And her teeth are like as if she's biting something.
Like her upper gum or upper lip gets like snarled up.
Yeah.
But then she just kind of looks around like she doesn't know what's going on. It's not like she's actually snarling.
Yeah, she's
just
not
like
angry.
No. It's just something about her mouth just gets stuck like that.
And it usually goes along with a double chin as well.
Nice. Yeah, lots of extra wrinkles, double chin.
So many wrinkles. She just like tucks her chin back, has this weird little thing with her teeth. I hope you can picture that if you're only listening to this.
Yeah, we're so attractive right now.
So attractive. But yeah, so I think that's so funny about them. Very unique that they could be gorgeous, also derpy at the same time. And they're unique in their looks. They're skinny for the most part. Mm-hmm. They have long legs, long neck. Some people say they look like aliens.
With their little bicycle seat heads.
You know?
But then because they're so skinny and they got these skinny legs, they need to wear clothes all the time. Which Adelaide hates clothes. She's a nudist. But...
proud nudist here.
Yeah, proud nudist. But... when we have tried to take her outside and it's too cold, like 15 degrees, which would be like 60 for our American friends, she's way too cold. She's got to wear a sweater.
She'll shake. She'll look very sad, tail between the legs. Mm-hmm. Just won't move. But another funny thing about Iggies is they're very sensitive. So Adelaide falls under the category of Iggies that don't like to wear clothes. So you will see lots of Iggies in clothes because it's a necessity. Mm-hmm. When it's cold, they need to wear it. But then you'll also find that there's a whole world of fashionista Iggies that their whole life's purpose, it looks like, is to wear different clothes. So if you want to dress your dog up in cool outfits, Italian Greyhound, great dog for you.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Unless... they're little nudists like Adelaide, and then it gets a little bit more difficult, but we try our darndest. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. Even if she doesn't like them, we still have them. We still have lots of outfits for her.
We have so many. We just slowly try and coax her into it with treats, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
Every dog's got their thing that they need to work on. Adelaide wants to meet every dog that she passes on the street and also wants to, run free and naked.
Yeah. That's what makes her special. Other things that are funny about Italian Greyhounds too, they're sensitive in so many ways. I said already, sensitive that they need to wear clothes and temperature can set them off, but they're also sensitive. We've heard a lot of issues with stomach problems. Mm-hmm. So
teeth
food
problems.
Is a big question for people who own Italian Greyhounds. Personality. So many Italian Greyhounds are extremely shy. Mm-hmm. Now, we haven't experienced that because we have a little crazy dog. Crazy Iggy. Mm-hmm. But we love her.
But yeah, there are definitely Italian Greyhounds that we've met in person that will not come up to you to let you pet them.
A little aloof. A little... Yeah. Maybe they only like their family. Mm-hmm. If they don't know you, they don't warm up to you.
Yeah.
But... for me, I've experienced more outgoing Iggies, but again, maybe that's just the
I think that's
numbers. The shy ones don't come up to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also health problems. So there are a lot of health problems for Italian Greyhounds, and that's one thing. Sometimes you'll go up to an Iggy owner and they will say, "Don't get this dog because it's a lot of maintenance." You really have to be in it for the long haul. So knock on wood, of course, we have our sweet Adelaide, and she's been to the vet for only one sort of emergency outside of the norm health problem. And it was a stomach thing.
Mm-hmm. Kind of undiagnosed kennel cough.
Kennel cough.
They said, go home and look at videos and see if that's the sound. And there's not a lot we can do for her. So she just kind of laid around for a couple of days, wouldn't really eat.
They gave us something to put on her food.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Yeah.
Something to help with digestion. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so things to look out for with them. They can have teeth problems. They can have stomach problems. They can have, there's lots of things you can look into it.
And the legs.
Leg breaks. One of the scariest things. We still are so nervous for Adelaide. Anytime they jump off of anything, there's the potential they could just snap their legs and have them break. Mm-hmm. Whether it's 6 feet from your bed or jumping down from
6 feet, that would be a very high bed.
I mean, Princess in the Pea here.
Yeah.
Bunk bed. I can't think. What else is that high?
It's just like jumping out of your arms.
Jumping out of our arms. We did hear, we
heard
have
of
some
that,
friends that have had their legs break because of that, and they just landed funny. It wasn't anything to do with the speed or if they had previously injured themselves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they special? So many reasons. And I'm sure we're going to explore so many of those reasons on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. So should we tell them a little bit more about us?
Let's do that. I'm Jess. I'm Adelaide's mom. And if you follow her Instagram, I'm probably the one that you're talking to on the private messages because I'm chatty, if you haven't noticed already. And yeah, I'm an actor, musical theater actor, fitness instructor, and dog mom. And I'm from Toronto. I'm from the area of Toronto, and we live in Toronto now. I don't know anything else fun about me.
That's okay.
My favorite color is pink. There we go. Just in case you needed to know. Fun fact.
I'm Ryan, Adelaide's dad, also a musical theater actor. That's how Jess and I met. And I'm also a photographer, so have kind of perfected my skills or geared my skills towards headshot photography. And then getting Adelaide was the perfect thing for that because it's like a one-on-one thing where I get her attention right on me and I can dial in the lighting and all that thing all that work that I've done to learn about photography really applies to this. And I feel like I've been trying to teach Jess that as
I'm his assistant. I'm not skilled, but I'm learning.
Yeah, she's an enthusiast.
Yes. Very passionate enthusiast for photography. What's your favorite color?
It's orange. 100% it's orange.
And Adelaide's favorite color?
Yellow.
She just looks so good in yellow with her seal coloring. We're also first time dog parents together.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had my experience. I grew up with a family dog, and I most recently shared a dog, a sweet toy poodle, Maisie, with my old roommate, Tammy. And she was so lovely. She is still our very good friend, both Tammy and Maisie. And yeah, I always wanted a dog of my own. I haven't raised a puppy. That's a very new thing for me. I haven't raised a puppy on my own. Of course, I had a puppy when I was 8 years old, but I really don't remember raising that Jack Russell Terrier. And we had a backyard. It's very different. So we live in Toronto now.
In an apartment on the 3rd floor, which has its downsides when you're trying to teach an Italian Greyhound who are notoriously hard to potty train.
Another thing that's special about Iggy's, their potty training. I've heard some Iggy's use litter boxes, to be honest.
Yep.
Which, I mean, we're not that far off. We're using a pee pad, reusable pee pads, and works really well. But we'll get more into crate training and, again, how we raised Adelaide on future episodes.
My experience is when I was in grade 5, 5th grade. Yeah. 5th year.
5th year of what?
Hogwarts.
I wish.
Is we fostered a dog with Dog Guides Canada. So we had a little lab cross. We had her for 10 months, Tinker. And that was a different kind of experience because we knew that we were going to be giving her back. But really, I wanted a puppy, and my parents said, this is how we can try it.
Yeah.
And see. And it was sad when we had to give her back, but I was so busy with so many activities, and they run their business. And so they didn't have as much time. But now that we're married, you and me, this is the perfect time for us to do it.
What are we going to talk about on this podcast, Ryan?
We're going to flesh out a lot of the blog posts that we've been doing.
Blog posts? What blog?
Well, thanks, audience member Jess, for asking. We even before we got Adelaide, we started with a blog. That it felt like a space that was open, vacant, or sparsely populated.
Yeah. Because we were new parents and we were looking for Italian Greyhound information.
Right. All we could hear is that they're a very specific kind of breed, and they take a lot of they have a lot of specific needs. But then we couldn't find the in-depth information that we were looking for, kind of all consolidated into one place.
I feel like there were more things to search for that said why you should not or should get an Iggy than there were about this is my story with an Iggy.
Or they're in a list of like top 10 small breeds or something like that. But then it's one paragraph about this breed, and then we want the whole blog. I want
a whole story.
Yeah,
I really want to know, because there are so many, of course, like every dog is different. So there's little things that you can learn from every different dog story that you hear. So our goal here is to have you learn something, whether it's how to crate train or what to name your dog, anything at all. We hope to give you a little bit of guidance or inspiration.
And then we can also make this more of a conversation. Like Jess said, she talks to tons of people on direct message on Instagram. And I feel like we make so many close connections. Like, yes, maybe Jess is talking, but we will talk about the things that she's having those conversations about.
We're always referring to each other for that.
Yeah. So we can then bring that interaction kind of more out into the open, where somebody asks what kind of food we're eating. We can tell them and we can answer that question, but we can answer it in this public forum.
Yeah.
And then everyone can have access to that information, especially new dog parents. So basically we're making this for ourselves a year ago.
From a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. And we're still new at this. So that's also why we're doing it, because we want to learn more. And this is just a nice way to sort of document our journey and how far we've come. So on that note, let's talk about the segments.
It will be some sort of main topic for the podcast, like the series that we've started on her blog, which has been Adelaide's top 5 picks. We started it kind of unintentionally last year when we talked about our top 5 picks, or top 5 tips for raising an Iggy. But then we've expanded it in the last few months with her top 5 Instagram accounts or top 5 tips for summer. So we want to bring those things here and then kind of talk about them more and flesh them out.
Yeah. So we started this with basically as a blog, and there's just so many things that roll off the tongue that are so much easier to get out to you guys in this format. So we're really hoping to expand on our blog in the form of this podcast, and vice versa. It's going to flow back and forth. So maybe we'll summarize.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That things we do on Instagram will then spark us to write a blog post, and then we'll talk about that, and then
so
it's all kind of connected. But we want to make each of these things independent of one another.
Yeah. So segments, top 5 picks, and then in our next episode, or in the next few episodes, we're going to check back in with our top 5 tips for raising an Iggy and see how a year later, if they're still true.
Yeah, so we'll both look at it and then not tell each other what we think, and then come together and see if where our thoughts meet up and where they diverge.
So you know everything is truthful and fresh on the spot.
Authentic.
Yes. But yeah, that'll be a fun experiment for the two of us being cooped up in this apartment together.
And then we're going to have
talk about it together.
Yeah, and then we're going to have some other recurring segments that won't be a full episode's worth, but we can do our weekly pup date and let you know what things we have planned for
Tales from the dog park.
Yep. Or our favorite purchase that we just made this week, if we get her a new toy or a new kind of treat or something.
Yeah. or if there's anything, pup dates, anything that's going on in Adelaide's life, how her health is doing. Did we meet any new Iggies this week? I feel like Iggy spotting is a new sport I'm enjoying. We go to the park, we find an Iggy we never heard of before. Very exciting. Other things. We started on our Instagram with Training Tuesdays.
Yes.
So we have IGTV videos where we work on our training from dog school. So Adelaide has been both to puppy school and now dog school. This does not mean that she's the most amazing trained dog in the world. She's not a trick star by any means. But we're learning, and we just want to take those lessons from the dog school out into dog park, maybe just in the apartment, and learn more about how to train a dog. Interviews. So we're going to have interviews. As exciting as it is to listen to Jess and Ryan chat for hours, it's also exciting when we hear from either experts in the field or friends of ours that have more experience on a subject. So Ryan, do you want to chat about our first interview?
We have scheduled an interview, no time, but we've talked to her about it, with someone who's involved in the dog show scene. It's a thing that we kind of know nothing about besides having watched Best in Show, which I'm sure is a perfect, exact representation of what it's like.
Entirely accurate, right?
Yes. I won't ruin your childhood. And just watching like Westminster Dog Kennel show, but we don't know what they're looking for. Like it's a very opaque
so many
kind of sport.
Terms, and I feel like it's linked to breeding. So if you're a breeder, you might be more involved in the shows, but I don't even know if that's true. Maybe it's just people are really passionate about dog shows and always have been. I know it.
Yeah, so we want to demystify that a little bit.
Yeah, I want to learn more, and I hope you can learn from it too.
So we've also got some topics from the listeners, and
about what to talk about on the podcast.
Yeah. So we've got some answers already. What did people say initially?
We have a request to hear about how to cope with separation anxiety. We definitely are going to have to deal with it in the future. For now, we're still at home, but I have found that Adelaide has grown more attached to us. So it's definitely something that we've experienced, and we're going to touch on that. And another thing, potty training.
Yeah, we really feel like it was I won't say a breeze with Adelaide, but we put some systems in place that made it not that difficult.
Yeah, Adelaide's very easy when it comes to potty training. So we'd love to share all of our tips with you, but know that it's going to be different with your dog too. Hey, Ryan. Why should people listen to this podcast?
Oh, I want this to be a fleshing out, a more conversational look at the topics that we've made blog posts about. And we've gotten really good feedback about those blog posts. That there's some people who have reached out just to say, your tips really helped me or gave me confidence even to get an Iggy. People reach out to us kind of before they've even got their dog. So we want to give people another resource to help them. Yeah.
And we do this together. We are the Iggy parents because it's Ryan and Jess, mom and dad.
Yeah, you're just as likely to see either of us with her. Right? It's not your dog. It's not my dog.
It's our dog. And we kind of combine forces in this Adelaide empire, if you will. It's a gentle empire. It's not menacing, I promise.
No return of.
She sits here on the couch empire with her little paws crossed. Adorable.
Like an empress.
Yeah. And now she's gently nipping at my fingers. But we do this together. So everything is shared. Ryan's photographer. He takes gorgeous photos of her. And I'm chatty. So here you go. You're going to be chatting with me. It's our first year of marriage. So we're learning how to be partners while we're also learning how to be dog parents. So it's kind of a nice little adventure for us, and we hope you can draw something from that. We did a poll on Instagram, and we were just curious. I feel like when I'm talking in direct messages to people on Instagram, most of the time I'm speaking to dog moms. And when we look at our insights in our account, we also see that it's more women than men that follow us and engage with the account. So I decided to put up a poll just out of curiosity's sake. And we found out that 95% of the people on our Instagram, or the dogs on our Instagram, are represented by their dog moms and 5% dog dads. So then I also wanted to know, okay, so how many of you share the account? Is it really run by both of you, or is it just one parent, whether it's the mom or the dad? Sometimes it's two dads, sometimes it's two moms. But I was just wondering, is it a one parent operation, or is it kind of a couples thing to be running this Instagram together? And the numbers were 76% that only one parent was running the account. Now, of course, it could be that only one parent exists. Maybe the dog is owned by one person, and that's totally cool. But I thought it was interesting. 76% of people, it's just one person running that dog account. So something we're bringing, I guess, to the table and to this podcast is two people's experiences together on this. So we're going to be talking about what it's like to be a young newlywed couple, if you can still call us that. It's the first year, because we've had our first year. Newlywed couple and their first time being dog parents.
And the other statistic that I'll throw at you here is we asked, do people listen to podcasts? It feels like maybe it's a bit of an underserved space in the dog world. And we got a response that 75% of people do listen to podcasts, at least 75% of the people who responded to our question about it. But 2/3 of people don't listen to a dog podcast. So we're here to be that dog podcast for you.
Yeah, let's change that. Why aren't people listening to dog podcasts?
Yeah, and
I want to listen to dog podcasts.
I think one of the best times to listen to a podcast would be when you take your dog out for a walk. It's the perfect time. Like, you're not chatting up your dog, so you need to be listening to something anyway. Listen to us.
Well, yeah. So this is just a preview episode, a pilot episode, to let you know what this podcast is going to be like. We're going to
get this conversation out of the way so that our first official episode can be useful.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. We want to help people.
I mean, we'll still fill you in on everything that's going on.
I'm not saying I don't want it to be entertaining. Obviously, we want it to be entertaining. But it doesn't have to be about us. It can be about how we can help you. I'll be here giving you photography tips.
And I'll be here chatting.
You can give me conversation tips?
Yeah, how to talk to your dog.
Okay. That's not the conversation I was talking about. But
all right.
Well, shall we wrap it up?
I think we shall. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Iggy Parents. You can follow us on Instagram at The Iggy Parents.
Or find us on YouTube. Search for The Iggy Parents and you'll find us.
This podcast is available where all podcasts are found. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye from Ryan.
And Jess.
And Adelaide.
The Iggy.